All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're jumping into a time machine and heading back 2,500 years to solve a genuine detective story, one of the very first and biggest mysteries humanity ever tried to crack.
And this is the question. The big one. I mean, look around you. You see chairs, trees, the sky, but what's underneath it all? What is the one single fundamental thing that everything is made of? It's a question that still keeps physicists up at night, but the hunt for the answer? That all started in ancient Greece.
So picture this. You're in Miletus, this bustling hub of trade and ideas. And a few thinkers there did something completely new. They basically threw out the old rule book of gods and monsters and started asking a brand new kind of question. They wondered, could there be one single natural substance, they called it an arche, that could explain the entire universe? Okay, so before we get to our main character, let's look at the first couple of suspects in this mystery, the early ideas that were floating around. First up, you have Thales. His big idea? Everything is made of water. And, it's a pretty smart guess. Water is everywhere, it's essential for life, and it can be a solid, a liquid, or a gas. But his theory had a massive flaw. How in the world does something wet and cold like water turn into something hot and dry like fire? It just didn't add up. So his student, Anaximander, took a swing at it. He suggested the source was something he called the apeiron, basically this infinite, boundless, undefined cosmic goo. The problem with that? It was, well, a little too mysterious. What even is it? You can't see it, you can't test it. It just wasn't a satisfying answer. The case was still very much unsolved.
And this is where our guy comes in, the philosopher who finally cracked the case. Enter Anaximenes, a student of Anaximander, who stepped up with an answer that was just so simple and so incredibly elegant.
What's so brilliant about his approach is that he starts with something we all experience every single second, our own breath. He basically thought, hey, if this air, our soul, our life force, is what holds us together, maybe that exact same stuff holds the entire universe together too.
He called this fundamental substance air. Now, it's really important to get this. He didn't just mean the air we're breathing right now. For Anaximenes, air was something bigger. It was this divine, all-encompassing, constantly moving element. It was real enough that you could feel it, but also vast enough to be the source of literally everything. He found the perfect middle ground, not as specific as Thales' water, but not as hopelessly abstract as Anaximander's apeiron.
But here's where it goes from a good idea to pure genius. Anaximenes didn't just tell us what the world is made of. His real breakthrough was explaining how it all works. He basically gave us the instruction manual for the cosmos.
He came up with this idea that one single substance, his air, could transform into everything else we see: fire, wind, clouds, water, earth, even solid stone. And not through some kind of magic, but through a clear physical process. He described a cosmic engine that powers all of creation.
And this engine runs on two simple opposite forces, rarefaction and condensation. And you can actually feel this yourself. Seriously, try it. Purse your lips together and blow on your hand. The air is cool, right? That's compressed or condensed air. Now open your mouth wide and breathe on your hand like you're fogging up a mirror. It's warm. That's rarefied or thinned out air. Anaximenes took that simple observation and built his entire universe on it.
So how does this engine actually build a world out of thin air? Let's walk through how this one process can create literally everything you see around you. It's this incredible chain reaction. On one path, if you rarefy air, make it thinner and hotter, it becomes fire. And boom, right there, he solved the problem that stumped Thales. But if you go the other way and start to condense it, first it gets a little thicker and becomes wind. Squeeze it even more and you get clouds. Condense those and you get water. Keep going, you get earth, and at its absolute densest state, air becomes solid stone. It's just like the water cycle. Steam, water, ice, it's all the same stuff, just at different densities. And Anaximenes basically said the entire universe works just like that. 1. That's the key here. That is the whole shebang. The idea that it's all just one substance changing its density, that was the breakthrough. It meant that this huge, complex, messy universe could be explained by a single, unified physical process. No need for gods pulling levers, no magic spells, just one thing, following one set of rules. And the ripple effects of an idea like that were, well, they were huge. This wasn't just a theory about how rocks are made. It was a complete revolution in how humanity saw itself in the universe. Because, with this one idea, Anaximenes started to peel back the layers of superstition. Suddenly, a rainbow wasn't some kind of message from a goddess anymore. It was just the sun's rays hitting condensed air, mist. Lightning wasn't a bolt hurled down by Zeus in a fit of anger. It was just violent wind breaking through a thick cloud. He was explaining the world using what he could see and what he could reason, not with mythology.
So, let's just recap why this guy was such a massive game changer. He gave us the first theory of how one element could turn into another based on a physical process. He took things like lightning and hail out of the hands of the gods and put them into the world of natural science. And he totally shifted philosophy's focus from just asking, what is everything, to trying to explain, how does everything work? And by making density the key to the whole puzzle, he was basically setting the stage for atomic theory, which would come centuries later.
And that kind of leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. Anaximenes used simple observation to try and unify all of reality, fire, rock, life, everything, under one single principle, air changing its density. Today, our physicists are chasing a theory of everything to unite gravity and quantum mechanics under a single set of laws. The tools have gotten a lot more complicated for sure, but after 2,500 years, are we not still chasing that exact same dream? Still trying to solve that very first great mystery? Something to think about.